Sorry about that. To be held to any contract, everything must be in the contract. So when you sign things like plea agreements or child support contracts and they don't disclose everything, like a foreign illegal government has no power over the land, only the sea and the dead entities in it, can I then file with the passport an affidavit saying that all contracts are formed or under false pretenses? It's actually a pretty good question. You can do anything you want as an explanatory statement within the passport. Whether or not they accept it is a question. But even if they didn't accept it, the mere fact of filing in the Department of State, why do you think they call it a Department of State? It's literally a Department of State of being. It's like, who is registering them as private and who is registering themselves as public? So if it were me, which is what we do, I would get the fact that you are not in their jurisdiction handled. I would get the fact that what we do with it within the explanatory statements taken care of, because we handle what you're saying within respect to all the contracts. Unfortunately, that's like filing an affidavit and just putting it in the public someplace, acting like it's dealing with the existing contract that you have, whether adhesion, whether false, whether done under false pretenses, done illegally as a minor, done without full disclosure, done without the elements of an agreement: offer, acceptance, consideration, performance, and full disclosure. Everything that you're doing right now is not a contract. Everything that you're doing is a trust. You've created the trust. They've done the grant, they offered the form, or the grantor, and they're putting themselves as a beneficiary, but you're coming onto that DMV trust and applying for a driver's license and applying to be an office holder of that trust person, the all caps name. So you're not essentially signing an agreement. You have self-executed a private trust that is going to give you a public license. And in that self-execution of the private trust, you're in control because you're the only party that signed. So you're in control. So that's why you have to go back and deal with that individual adhesion trust. You can't just let it go. You have to create a new document that oversees or basically quashes the old one. And that's why we do an administrative process and faulting and defaulting the DMV and then putting that into the public later. That's the proof that you created a new agreement. Just taking what you're saying and putting it into the public at the DOS through an explanatory statement isn't enough. It's a good concept, it's a good idea, and it's a good start. And it's not like something I wouldn't want to do, except you may not get approved. You know what I mean? Secondly, you have to deal with each element of every adhesion contract that you have. You can't blanket this. There's no such thing. You're making individual contracts with individual corporations. Individual public franchises is what they're called. So you can't just make a blanket statement over here in this public environment on the East Coast and act like it has authority over this guy here. You have to create the new contract with this guy and then put that into the public once it's done.